Well, hello everyone. I am back once again with another episode of 14 Days with You. So last time we met Ren at a library, and he's an interesting fellow. We invited him over to my house because I needed someone to protect me because someone broke into my house the night before or something like that. And now he is currently in my bed with me. And we had a steamy kiss. So yeah, that's where we left off. Angel? You're back? What? Ha, I can't wait to see you again. That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, so here we are. We are finally at day 2. So, let's see what happens from here. Oops. Did not mean to do that. The sounds of birds chirping happily outside pull me from my slumber as the streaks of sunlight peek through the blinds of my window and cast a warm glow across my skin. Okay. Groggily, I turn on my side and smush my head into the pillow and block out the light, only to hear the faint sounds of tapping to my left. Cracking one eye open, I was surprised by the scene in front of me. Ren was already awake, perching up against the headboard as he idly scrolled through his phone. It seems he was waiting for me to wake up, judging by how he immediately put his phone down as soon as we make eye contact and sends me a soft smile. Almost sheepishly, I shoot him an awkward smile of my own before covering my face with a pillow once more. Had Ren been watching me sleep? I hope I wasn't drooling. Morning, Angel. He's still on that angel thing. His voice pulls me from my thoughts, and I couldn't help but notice just how attractive he sounded in the morning. Oh. It's when this game would have been nice to have voice acting. His gruff, sleepy tone was rather pleasant to hear, and I found myself wanting to continue the conversation. Lifting my head from the safety of my pillow, I was greeted with Ren's soft demeanor once more. I'd appreciate it if you weren't so chipper this early in the morning. You'd be this chipper too if you realized that you weren't murdered in your sleep last night. Which can only mean one thing. The creepy guy didn't come back to your apartment last night. He seems almost smug as he leans closer to me, and it was then I realized just how pretty he looked underneath the morning light coming from my window. It wasn't fair that he got to look so ethereal and glowing this early in the day, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to praise his looks or throw a pillow at his head. Ren doesn't seem to pick up on my speechless nature though, as he continues to beam down at me with such a soft look. And I found myself wanting to look away in fear of making things even more awkward. I guess I did a good job, huh? He's a bit too smug. If you ever need my services again, I'd be more than happy to oblige, for free, of course. You're really talkative in the mornings, aren't you? I can't help it. I got to wake up next to a real cutie this morning. Oh, as if noticing how close he was to me, or maybe realizing that he dropped his usual stutter, Ren immediately pulls back and turns his head away. Anyway, now that we're awake, would you like to go out for breakfast? I think that cafe near the pier is open now. Oh, he just wants to spend all his time with me. I understand totally. But wow. I would want to spend all my time with me as well. We could go check it out, like a date, but only if you want to. Why did he suddenly switch again? I figured we'd at least be a tiny bit closer, especially considering that we shared a bed, but maybe I was wrong. You mean the Driftwood Cafe? I didn't even know if it was open to the public yet. Really? Well, what a better way to find out than by finding out, I guess, huh? I rolled my eyes at his lame attempt at a joke before groaning into my pillow. Did he seriously want to go out for breakfast this early in the morning? Man, he was seriously a trooper. With a sigh, I reluctantly sit up and stretch my limbs. From that action alone, it was like I could feel Ren's eyes on me. But as soon as I turned my head, he was already staring holes into the blanket with the blush on his cheeks. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I let all my joints pop before breaking the silence once more. Oh yeah, I love that. Ooh, feeling all my joints pop when I first get out of bed. Oh, it's so nice. So, Driftwood Cafe? In the end, Ren and I decided to walk to the cafe together, considering how the weather was perfect and it wasn't that far from my apartment. Turning to my side, I noticed how the pink-haired man tries to not so subtly sneak side glances toward me. The arm at his side practically itches to reach out, and if I knew any better, I would have assumed he wanted to hold my hand. But instead, he simply tucks his hand into his pocket and shoots me yet another soft smile. Just hold my hand at this point. Come on. The weather's really nice today, huh? Back to small talk, it seems. Sure is. If I hadn't known it'd be this nice and sunny, I would have suggested spending the day at the beach instead. Yeah? Yeah, we could go for a swim or maybe even check out the rock pools. It's been a while since I've been there. Oh yeah, that does sound fun. Oh, it's this guy again, Leon. The sound of my name being called, I turn on my heels, only to find Leon running up to me with a sports bag full of what I assume to be his volleyball gear. Heyo, Sunfish. It's good to see you out and about this early. I was just on my way to the beach to meet up with Jay and Tio. Did you want to tag along? Can't you see I'm in the middle of something? Why you always just show up? I mean, you're a cool guy and all, but like, come on. You have a very angular face, by the way. And hey, it's Ron, right? Nice to see you again, buddy. Oh, it's Ren, actually. Sunfish? Huh? Oh, yeah. Sunfish is the cheesy nickname Leon gave me when we were kids. I don't really get it either, to be honest. So, Sunfish and Ren, was it? Sorry about that, but I'm not too good with names. Faces, too, sometimes. But hey, it's good to see you both again. Doing anything excited today? If not, you can tag along with me and Angelfish and I were about to go on a date, actually. Angelfish? Angelfish? A date? I don't miss the way Ren suddenly pulls my arm closer to his side, nor the way he clings onto me as though I'd suddenly disappear. You're going on dates again, Darl? Good for you. I'm glad to see that you're coming out of your shell again. Take good care of him for me, won't you, bud? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? Huh? What do you think I've been doing ever since you moved away? What? Like me, Leon barely seems to notice Ren's mumbling as he rests his arm over my shoulder and starts tugging me in the direction of the beach. Ren, on the other hand, still latches on my arm but doesn't seem to move. I can't believe my little Sunfish is out there in the dating scene again. I feel like a proud father. Okay. Oh, please, we're basically the same age. I feel like a proud adoptive father. Leon pretends to wipe a tear away from his eyes as he leans further into my shoulder, and it was only then that I noticed Ren wasn't following us. Turning around, I reach out to grab his hand instead of tugging him along. He immediately seems to perk up at the action and entwines his fingers with mine before falling into step. There we go. Now we got our hands holding. ... Alright, as fun as it is to catch up with my proud adoptive father, who's the same age as me, which makes things kind of weird, Ren and I do need to get along. Or get going. Oh, yeah, of course, I didn't mean to take up so much of your time. He unhooks his arms from around my shoulder and inclines his head towards the beach one more time. But my offer still stands if you want to catch up some more. I'll be down at the beach with... Oh, well, who are you, Tio? Oi, you're a cool looking guy. Speak of the devil. Almost like he appeared from thin air, Theodore, or rather Tio, emerged from somewhere behind Leon and makes his way towards the three of us. I've never met someone named Theodore. Though, unlike most of my friends here in Cortland Bay, I actually met Tio in the city a few years ago, back when I used to live there. In fact, it was through our mutual friend Jay. Apparently, they'd both known each other since the beginning of middle school, even after graduating and moving on to university. The pair are still practically inseparable. Ren just hates every time someone shows up. Look at his face right now. Well, actually, hold on. You probably can't see it. Look, Every time someone shows up, I realized last episode that I was covering his face in a couple scenes, but he makes this face every time a new person comes on screen. He's just angry every time. Anyways, apparently they'd both known each other since the beginning of middle school. Actually, do you think it'd be better if I put my... Well, no, because you won't be able to read it. I don't know. I think that's probably the best place it's gonna have to go. Apparently, they'd both known each other since the beginning of middle school, but even after graduating and moving on to university, the pair were still practically inseparable. According to Jay, Tio would always show up at campus and pay him a visit. Though if I were being honest, I'm sure Tio only did it to antagonize some of the students and staff there. And definitely wasn't out of the ordinary for him to do something like that. Plus, it offered me a lot more insight into the whole assertive yet nonchalant attitude he often liked to put on. The first time I'd ever witnessed it was when Tio found me sitting alone at a cafe. I still remember sitting there slack-jawed as he practically shoved my laptop bag to the side, before he sat down and took a sip of my drink like it was his own. Ew! I hate that. Ugh. He's still mad, by the way. I know you can't see his face behind the camera, but he is still mad. The satisfied grin from seeing my displeasure said everything, and had he not offered to buy me another drink, I'm almost certain he would have told Tio to get lost and bother someone else. But before I can reminisce any further, I hear the sound of Tio's footsteps drawing closer, and it pulls me back to the present. I watch as he walks up to us with a confident stride, before he purposely bumps into Ren with the sole purpose of sending him tumbling into a metal railing behind him. What a jerk! But luckily, Ren manages to catch his footing at the last second, sending Tio an annoying scowl of his own. What the heck? Why would you do that? This guy's just a jackass. Pushing people on purpose, not taking drinks out of other people's drinks, moving people's stuff. I don't like this guy. Aw shit, sorry about that. I'm not sure how I missed such a brightly colored children's mascot. What a, oh my god, bro. What a jerk. I don't like this guy. Alright, there's no need for that here. Despite Leon's tone, Tio barely pays the shorter male any mind, seemingly far more interested in Ren instead. Oh, he's got a rival because he's got someone else that's tall as him. That's what it is. Whatever. Let me guess, you're dressed up as Benny the Buttercup? My 4-year-old cousin would love you. Wait, knock it off, mate. What's your problem? Dunno, what's yours? He didn't even do anything! What do you mean, what's yours? You're the one that showed up and did all this. I could practically feel the tension between the two grow, so I decided to step in. Maybe you should introduce each other first before you try glaring each other to death. Tio, this is Ren. He's my, well, I'm his boyfriend. Whoa! Whoa, we did not take it that far. I mean, not that I would have probably said no, but like, could have at least talked about it first. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, that was certainly one way to put it, especially without bringing it up with me beforehand, for real. At his words, I shoot Ren a confused glance, but the determined look on his face had me biting back my words. Okay. Anyways, this is Tio. He's... Wait, how should I introduce him to Ren? Did I say it? Did I miss anything about them having done stuff together? Or would this just be a blatant lie for me to say? I might have missed that. I could just say he's a friend from the city. Or I could just say I've never seen this man in my life. But honestly, that's what I would rather say. You know what? I've never seen this man in my life. And I've never seen this man in my life either. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, I know. With a sigh, I try my best to clear the air of any confusion. Alright, Tio's just a friend I made back in the city. You want to know what's hilarious? Buttercup's outfit over here. Oh my god, bro. We are not friends. Our friendship just ended. That's it. We're done. Okay? So why don't you just go take a stroll and leave us where we were before you showed up. What did you just call me? Okay, enough. Look, why don't we just drop this, yeah? You really need to stop trying to pick fights with everyone, mate. Don't get your panties in a twist. I seriously doubt Buttercup's capable of harming a fly, let alone able to throw a decent punch. You can drop the nickname. Nah, but I think Dollface over here should drop you instead. Oh, dang. Besides, the nickname is kind of cute. Matches your style pretty well, don't you think, Buttercup? Oh, he's mad. He just vibrated. I could see Ren's hand clench into a fist as he advances toward Leo, but thankfully, Leon steps in once more. Seriously, why don't we all cool off, yeah? I think we're getting a bit too heated. Look, we're gonna head down to the beach. I don't miss the way Leon sends Tio a sharp glare. Are you sure you don't want to join us, Booper? I promise to make sure that Tio stays on his best behavior. Sorry, Leon, but I've already made plans with Ren. And I seriously doubt they'll be able to get along. You know how Tio can get. Yeah, you've got a point there. Well, alright then. He leans closer to me, almost as if we didn't want the other two eavesdropping. If anything happens, I'll be in the area. Just come find me, okay? I will, thanks, Leon. W. Leon, for real. He's a real one. I just got to say that. I know I was kind of being a little aggressive when he first showed up today, but it was all in good fun. He's way better than Watts' face over here. I gave his arm a soft squeeze and turned my attention back to Ren. By the way he looks at us, I can only assume that he didn't like how close I was standing to my childhood friend. Though that could also have been Tio was still around, because Tio was still around, and honestly, I couldn't blame him. Regardless, I reached for his hand once more and tugged him towards the cafe, making a point of ignoring Tio's crass words as we went along. I barely noticed how Ren's mood immediately changes when my attention is back on him and he's following along like a lost puppy. We eventually arrive at the Driftwood Cafe, and the smell of fresh pastries and brewed coffee flood my senses as it wafts through the opened windows. And just as I had thought, the cafe looked as though it had only recently opened, though it didn't seem as busy or crowded as I anticipated. Well, maybe that whole confrontation bought us time for the store to open up, who knows. Pulling me from my thoughts, Ren ushers me into one of the empty tables before he goes off to make an order with a pleased look on his face. It was a bit strange how he didn't want to look at the menu first, but I chalked it up to him wanting to surprise me. He's barely gone for 5 minutes before he returns once more, taking a seat in front of me with a huff. A comfortable silence watches over us, and I watch as he absentmindedly fiddles with the ends of his hair. Was he still concerned about what Tio said about his parents earlier? Maybe it'd be a good idea to take his mind off of it. Hey, Ren. Almost immediately he perks up with wide eyes. Oh my god, he's so cute when he does that. Oh my god. I need someone like this, for real. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. My hair is super frizzy today. I got out of the shower. It looks horrible. It's really frizzy. I need to start putting product back in it again. How do you manage to keep your hair so fluffy? It always looks so good. Ren seems to flush instantly at my words, and he sheepishly ducks his head lower to hide his reddening cheeks. You like it? It looks good. I usually just angle a blow dryer down my chin and blast the heat, and it just stays like that afterward. Oh, so you need to use any products or anything? Not really. Just when I thought he got over his timid personality, it slowly came crawling back. Was this really who he was? Well, even whenever you're close to someone, sometimes complimenting them can make them a little bashful, so whatever. Ren must have taken my silence as a lack of response, seeing as he tries striking up another conversation. So, work's going good for you, huh? Finally got that promotion. Oh, yeah, I did. I was honestly surprised when I first got my promotion, considering how I've only moved back here recently. But Eleanor's been really helpful in showing me the ropes and... Wait, how did you know I got promoted? Yeah, he knows way too much about me. Oh, your coworker told me about it yesterday after you left. Eleanor, right? She seemed really proud of you. Told you. Master bullshitter. Anyway, what were you saying about her showing you the ropes? I barely noticed how he managed to change the conversation back to me, as I recounted all the times Eleanor helped me through my first week of working at the library. It eventually reached the point where it felt like I had been talking for hours, and it wasn't until something caught my eye did I finally stop. Okay. Aw, look at that cute puppy. That goth style is pretty cool. What goth style? Is there someone around? You've got something in your hair. Sorry, what were you saying? Alright, if we think about this, if I bring up anything other than him, most of the time he gets mad, so I don't think he'd want to hear about a puppy or someone else's style. I want to see where this leads. You got something in your hair. Huh? At my words, Ren seems almost bashful as he sheepishly starts picking out the strands of his pink hair. But he seems to miss a small piece of fluff, no matter how many times he tugs at his roots. Here, let me. Stifling a laugh, I reach over the table to pluck the offending item out of his hair. That's what I was hoping was going to happen. Ren only seems to lean closer to my touch, while his cheeks flush a light shade of red, and just as I pull the piece of fluff out. Order 25! Oh, that's us. Wait right here, I'll be right back. Before I could get a word in, Ren was jumping out of his seat and meandering his way towards the kiosk. It really was a sight to behold, seeing Ren tower over most of the other customers who were waiting in line. That always seems to be a thing. I've never really... I guess I don't really have a preference for a height preference, really. But, like, I've never really just... It's always been more about face. Like, face, or, like some type of, like, maybe the way they dress or something. Things like that catch my attention more than height, usually. But I know people are romanticized super tall guys, so I get it. Even the cashier herself, who seemed to be at least 6 feet tall, geez, she's tall too, had to crane her neck upwards just to look at him. But before I could blink twice, Ren was already on his way back with a large tray full of delicious food. He seats himself back to the original spot with a pleased smile and begins to lay out the dishes in front of me. Oh, this is a delicious looking scone. A chocolate croissant, a big slice of cake, a sugary cookie. So is this basically just me deciding what I want? Or is there a right answer here? I guess between all of these, the thing I'd be most likely to have is a sugar cookie. The scrumptious cookie sits next to my beverage, and I almost heard my stomach rumble at the sight. How did Ren know this was my favorite thing to order? Granted, it wasn't like I had been to the Driftwood Cafe before, and it was usually what I'd order at any other cafe. It was honestly like he could read my mind. And what was even more mind-boggling was that he didn't even need to look at the menu beforehand. It was like he just knew. Huh. This guy's got some type of psychic powers, I'm telling y'all. I've been saying it. He's got some type of, like, some type of ability up here. Don't forget your drink. Ren shoots me another gentle smile of his before placing my drink before me. No way. Don't tell me he got it right, too. The drink he placed in front of me, it was a cup of coffee, a steaming latte, a can of soda, a fruity smoothie. Well, none of those are really out of the ordinary. So I mean, it's like, I reacted like, no way, like it was like someone got my Starbucks order with like 15 different things in it perfectly right or something like that. But I guess probably my preference here would be a cup of coffee anyways, but I also think a cup of coffee would go good with a cookie. So, a cup of coffee. I could tell by the scent that he ordered me a cup of steaming coffee. Just like what I'd normally have in the mornings in order to smoothly make it through the day. I hope this is okay. Unfortunately, the cafe doesn't really have much to offer judging from the menu I saw online. Ah, so that's how we knew what to order. I even tried asking for napkins earlier, but I don't think they heard me. Maybe I should try again? I almost felt bad for him, but I also felt grateful for ordering me something that I'd normally eat at a cafe. Ren makes sure everything is on the table before putting the tray aside, and it was then when I noticed that he'd ordered himself. Oh, what did he order himself? On his plate sat a strawberry sweet roll, alongside a cup of coffee that was an alarming shade of black. Strawberry sweet roll just kind of fits, I guess. He seemed to pick up on my inquisitive stare, if the innocent tilt of his head was anything to go by. Do you want my meal instead? We can swap if you want. I don't mind. That was supposed to be a date. This was supposed to be a date, right? Deciding to tease him a little, I shoot Ren a sly grin. That's okay, but you could offer me a bite instead. Ren almost seems to combust on the spot as his cheeks turn red and he almost chokes on his own spit. He looks down at his food before glancing back at me, only to look down once more to scoop up a bite-sized piece of his food. I watch as Ren's cheeks turn a deep shade of red while he brings his fork closer to me, and not wanting to be seen as a coward, I lean in to take a bite. His eyes widen almost immediately, and he seems hyper-focused on the way my mouth wraps around the fork before I lick my lips and let out a pleased hum. Wow. Okay. I would react that way too. It's yummy. Try some. The pink-haired man seems to have an awkward, long staring contest with his own fork before he scoops up yet another small piece and takes a bite. Ren's cheeks are still scarlet red, and he seems almost fidgety with how his legs keep bouncing under the table, so I decide to take pity on him and not tease him for it. With a knowing smile, I start digging into my own meal with a pleased hum. Well, that was an interesting date. That's so sweet. Makes me wonder how much the decisions matter in this game. Like, would I have ended up going on this date anyways if I hadn't kissed him and had him in my bed? Like, if I told him to sleep on the floor or something, like, how much of that would have affected this happening? I wonder. Eventually, we ended up finishing our meals and decided to do a bit of window shopping to pass the time. Oh, that's fun. I had nothing else to do today, and Ren seemed insistent on spending the rest of his time with me, so I agreed. We passed by a few clothing stores, ice cream stands, surfboard rentals, and many other interesting buildings, though nothing really caught my interest. This is insane progression, considering I've known him less than 24 hours at this point. But just as I thought I'd lost all hope, one store in particular catches my eye. In one of the display windows, I spot this cute little rabbit plushie in the style of Haruko's likeness. I mean, it even came with his limited edition sorcerer outfit and everything. I couldn't believe they were selling these things here, of all places, and at such a cheap price, too. Hello? Ren seems to take notice of what I was not so subtly gawking at, but before we could enter the store, the cashier walks in front of the display stand and blocks our view. She drops a box of miscellaneous items at her feet and begins stocking the shelves next to the plushies before she finally notices us standing by the window. I don't miss the way her eyes widen at Ren, obviously taking an immediate liking to him, and almost shamelessly pushes the strand of hair behind her ears before giving him a small wave. Hey, back off, okay? We're on a date, alright? Not for you. Sneaking a glance at the taller man beside me, I noticed how Ren wasn't even paying any attention to her, instead keeping himself busy by scratching at his jaw and kicking at the stray cobblestone rocks by his feet. Yeah, that's right. He's not paying attention to you. But the cashier seemed adamant about getting Ren's attention, considering how she felt the need to abandon her spot by the shelves and make her way towards us. Oh, great. Here we go. Oh, what do you want? Olivia. What do you want, Olivia? Hi there, welcome to Seaside Trinkets. My name is Olivia. Can I help you with anything? No. You can leave, thanks. Also, you're really short compared to him. Oh no, we're just looking around, but thanks for... We recently got some new beachwear merchandise if you're interested in checking them out. Hey. Was she seriously ignoring me? Oh my god. Why don't you just go? Just go. Oh, you look kind of like someone I know. Have we met before? Maybe we went to the same school. Me? I don't think so. Really, I definitely would have remembered a face like yours. Actually, now that I've got a good look at you, I watch as she shamelessly takes in Ren's appearance before crossing her arms over her chest and leaning back. You also remind me of one of those characters from a cartoon that's been gaining a lot of traction here. Apparently, one of the locations from that show is based on Cortland's Bay's main beach. What? Is this anime just real? Is it just becoming real? Is he the character? Are you talking about Attack on Giant? Is that the name of it? Then yeah. I don't really know much about those cartoons, but our company recently started selling some stuff for it to entice our tourists. Do you want to come inside and take a look? Oh my god, you're getting a little close. Okay, you need to back up. Okay? Back up, Olivia. Actually, do you want my number as well? Oh my god! Can you take a hint? I'm right here, by the way. Just saying. You had this prepared? Of course. You always need to be ready in case any cuties walk into the store. Where is your manager, first of all? Are you allowed to just be flirting on the job like this? Okay? I'd like to personally like to see your manager. Okay? Can we get some actual help over here? Yeah, Ren, back up. Well, I wouldn't want to sound like a hypocrite or anything. Ren looks at me with a shy, knowing look before he hesitantly reaches out to take the piece of paper. What did he mean by that? He's gonna say, I don't want to walk into a store and see someone for the first time and start talking to him like that. But he did that with me, so... that just proves that he doesn't want you. Okay? Back up. Before I even get a chance to ask, Ren already answers my silent question with her red cheeks and a crooked smile. This is embarrassing, but I also had my number prepared for when we met at the library yesterday. What? Here. He reached into his back pocket and pulls out a folded pink sticky note out of his own before discreetly handing it to me, alongside Olivia's number as well. Huh? Why was he giving me her number as well? My confusion must have been blatantly obvious since Ren was quick to explain his intentions. With a mischievous grin, he leans closer to whisper into my ear. Huh. Maybe you could prank call her later. That'll teach her not to give her number out to strangers. Oh my god, Ren, you're amazing. You're great. But isn't that what you just did with me, Ren? I match his teasing smile with my own. Well, we're not strangers anymore. We're on a date. I match his teasing smile with my own as I run my thumb over the over the pink sticky note in my hand. Touché, but I've yet to receive any prank calls from you, though. Don't jinx it. Just as Ren lets out a puff of laughter at my joke, Olivia cuts him off. Hello, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm aware, and you can go on and you can go. You can get out of here. Your service is concluded. You can go. Thanks. Oh, right, sorry. Nah, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Anyway, now that you've got my number and I've got your attention again, I don't like Olivia. I think it's only fair I show you around the store. I don't do this just for anybody, you know. Ren doesn't seem to answer her initial question, nor does he seem to outright respond to her, and instead casts an inquisitive glance in my direction. It was like he was asking for my opinion, and I can only assume it was because he knew about my interest in anime. Well, I got plenty of opinions right now, okay? So go ahead and ask me. I got plenty of things to say right now. Oh, good grief. It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kind of wanted to tell him that rude... Wait, what? It was thoughtful of him to do that, but I kind of wanted him to tell that rude worker off instead. Yeah, tell her off. Get her out of here. Wait, did I really want to do that? What was wrong with me? I'm sure that the cashier just took an interest in him, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, yeah, there is a little bit. It's not like we were a couple anyways, but we were supposed to be on a date right now, and Ren did declare himself. I was about to say, you did say you were my boyfriend, so. He did declare himself as my boyfriend earlier. But I just assumed he said that in order to get Tio off my back. Fair. Does that mean, was he feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when we talked with Leon and Tio earlier? Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be my head over here until this scene concludes because I'm blocking his face. Does that mean, was he feeling the same way as me? Was jealousy on his mind when we talked to Leon and Tio earlier? Oh yeah. I wasn't sure how I felt about this new discovery. Where? Huh? You want me to go look at the items? We've still got a bit of time to kill. Here, why don't I show you the most recent stock? We haven't shown this to the general public yet, but I'm sure you'll love it. Without warning, Olivia, was that her name? I don't even remember, who cares? Reaches out for Ren's arm and practically drags him inside the store. He lets out a surprised sound before leaning back and trying to grab hold of my own arm as well, but I was just out of reach. There was nothing else I could do but watch as Ren helplessly gets pulled into the store. It's back here in the stock rooms. Usually we don't allow customers downstairs, but you're a real hottie, so I'll let you take a sneak peek. What is wrong with this woman? Like, surely she's not allowed to act like that with customers, right? Like, actually? That's weird. That's weird to me. I don't know. No, actually, I'm good. Don't worry, we won't get caught. I'm sure your boyfriend won't mind if I borrow you for... So she's well aware. She's well aware. And she's still acting like that. I'll even throw in some cartoon stickers for you. Surely that'll make it worth your time. The wink she sends him felt a little excessive, and I honestly wish Ren would turn around so I could gauge his reaction. But instead, he leans in close to her face and whispers in a hushed tone that I could barely hear from my spot outside the store. If he wasn't right now, I would have down the stair without a thought. What? Like, hold on, what? If he wasn't standing there right now, I would have something down the stairs without a second thought. So, is he like telling her that he would go down there with her without a second thought if I wasn't here? Is that what you're saying, Ren? Is that what you're saying? That better not be what you're saying. And honestly, it's fucking tempting. Are you kidding me? Huh? From their current position, it looked as though they were having a really intimate conversation, and I felt the sudden urge to look away. Bro, what? What? Why was I getting so bothered over this? I know they aren't together, but Ren shouldn't be off flirting with other people while on a date with someone else. For real. I would never want to be with someone who wasn't considerate of my feelings, and up until now, I honestly thought Ren would have had a chance. I guess I was wrong. But still, there was this nagging voice at the back of my head that kept telling me not to give up on him so easily. Ren was the one who confidently stood his ground when Tio got a bit suggestive, so maybe I should do the same. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Would he even mind? Before I can stop myself, my feet start to move on autopilot as I march towards the two of them and reach for Ren's sleeve. Yeah. Let's go. Let's let her know who she's messing with. I give a hesitant tug, and I swear I could almost feel the relief wash over his body because of it. Ren's entire demeanor seemed to change in that moment, and he turns to me with a smile relieved on his soft features. I don't really have any interest in the store. Can we go somewhere else? Yeah, of course. Wait, hold on. Ren carelessly shoves Olivia's outstretched hand aside and gently places his arm over my shoulder instead. Take that! Oh, that's so satisfying. That's so satisfying. Just like that, he's already guiding me out the store and back into the busy street. I can hear Olivia sputter out confused sounds, as she watched the two of us leave, and I suddenly felt guilty for causing a rift between them. No, you don't feel guilty. I do want to know what he said to her, though. Because I have the feeling he said something really vile to her. Because, do you see the look on her face? I'm honestly, like, tempted to believe that what if he was, like, saying he was gonna push her down the stairs. Let's see if we can piece that together. If he wasn't standing right there right now, I would shove you down the stairs without a second thought. That S right there, like, and honestly, it's really fucking tempting. That might be what he said to her. If he wasn't standing there right now, I would have shoved you. Would have shoved you down the stairs without a second thought. And honestly, it's really fucking tempting. I think that might have been what he said, and I'm all for it. No matter how many times I tried to brush it aside, I couldn't get my mind off of what had just occurred earlier. What if Ren was interested in her? Granted, he probably shouldn't have blatantly flirted with her while on a date with me, but he wasn't exactly the most confident guy. Would he still be able to talk to her again if things didn't work out between us? No, I shouldn't be thinking like that. Peering up to gauge his expression, I noticed how he didn't really look all that upset about leaving her. If anything, he seemed rather content to be walking down the street with his fingers entwined with mine once more. I can feel him give my hand a protective squeeze as he looks down at me with his soft blue eyes, and all my worries somehow melt away. Maybe I did make the right choice after all. It might be selfish, but it was worth having Ren look at me with such a gentle expression. Eventually, the sun starts to set behind the ocean as Ren and I continue to walk down along the beach walk. Most of the conversation was geared toward me and my interests again, but every time I tried to learn more about Ren, he only seemed to divert the question back to me once more. But once I focused on this odd behavior, the more I began to pick up on his social habits as well. I learned that Ren would subtly pick at the sleeves of his cardigan whenever he got nervous, or how he'd scratch at his jaw whenever the conversation strayed down a path he didn't feel comfortable with. His little quirks told me more about himself than the dead-end conversations that only led back to me, and I was content with knowing more about him than I did yesterday. Ren no longer felt like a stranger I had met at a library, but rather someone I could consider a friend. Or boyfriend. Except friends aren't supposed to get jealous whenever they see them flirt with someone else. Geez, what's wrong with me? It had barely been 2 days, and I was already contemplating whether or not I truly saw Ren in a romantic light. Was I going too fast? All these thoughts were starting to get a little bit overwhelming, and... Angel? Hello? Huh? You're spacing out on me again. There's that look again. He keeps peering down at me with so much adoration in his eyes, and if I didn't know any better, I would think that he was already halfway in love with me. But that was a very conceited thought, and probably wasn't even true. Sorry, I was just thinking about things. Are you going to share those things with the rest of the class? He sends me a playful smile and a gentle nudge into my side, and I couldn't help but laugh. When did we become so comfortable with each other, and when did he lose his stutter? It's nothing really, maybe a bit embarrassing, but while I was wondering, how do you feel if my sentence gets cut short when a drop of rain lands on my cheek? Instinctively, I look up and find myself wondering how I didn't notice those dark clouds in the sky sooner. Oh. Wow. All of a sudden, more droplets fall down, until it's all but pouring rain and forcing everyone in the area to find cover. Over here! Ren doesn't seem to pay much attention when he grabs me by the wrist and pulls me underneath one of the awnings of a nearby building. He shields me from the rain with his body, and I couldn't help but feel tiny with the way his arms cage me in as he rests them against the wall. Oh. Wow. We look at each other in silence for a brief moment before erupting in laughter. Perhaps it was because of the adrenaline from all the panic running, or the fact that Ren's hair was starting to lose its fluffiness, but I couldn't hold back from letting out a fit of giggles. This only seems to spur Ren on as well, until we're both wheezing out our lungs and gulping down air. Well, isn't that cute? I can't remember the last time I ran that fast. Me too. Ooh, thunder. The booming sound of thunder echoes from afar and drowns out our laughter until we're both silent once more. Once we both calm down, Ren moves me further away from the rain before casting a glance behind him. Wait here, I'll buy us an umbrella so I can get us out of the rain. But you'll get soaked. Haha, 'tis a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I roll my eyes at his corny joke and send him off with an amused smile. Okay. He doesn't look back before he makes a mad dash out into the rain and down the street towards the closest convenience store. Though the rain only seems to get heavier the moment he leaves, and I find myself pressing even further against the wall behind me to avoid the recoil of the rain bouncing off the pavement. I'm a big fan of the rain. I love the rain. I don't like getting wet, but I would not mind standing under an awning while it rains. That's great. I think that would make a great first date. Just being in the getting caught in the rain. There wasn't much for me to do while I waited for Ren to return, aside from watching people scramble around for shelter. And just like that, the carefree sounds of laughter echoing from the street captured my attention as I watched Leon, Tio, and Jay all run to cover like their life depended on it. Well, it seems as though their beach outing got cut short as well. Glancing back once more, I barely make out the figure of Leon using his bag as a makeshift umbrella as he ducks under one of the awnings of an ice cream stand. All while Tio and Jay trail behind at a leisurely pace, kicking and splashing water at each other in the rain. I had to look away the moment Tio started to remove his shirt, and I had an inkling that it was so that he could show off. Sounds like him. And knowing Jay, he'll follow along without a care in the world because that's what he always does when it comes to his friends. A part of me feels like calling out to the group and see if I can wait out the storm alongside them, but they all seem to be enjoying themselves and I didn't want to get in between that. I don't want to be around Tio. I don't want to be anywhere around that guy. Plus, I did promise Ren that I'd wait for him here, even if he was taking a sweet time. Was he ever going to return? There was still no sign of him or his comfy-looking cardigan, and I was beginning to wonder if he really did ditch me. After all, it must have been more than 15 minutes now. No, he's not ditching you. What if he caught up with something? Or what if he went back to see that cashier lady again? Oh my god, no. He's not. He probably went to kill her. He probably went to push her down the stairs. That's my theory. Her store did happen to be on the same street, but after spending the afternoon with Ren and getting to know him, I concluded that he wasn't the type of person to do such a thing. Plus, that'd be really low blood considering that he was the one who offered to take me out on a date today. Although, if I was being honest with myself, it did seem as though they had chemistry. Especially with how she looked at him and touched his arm as though it was the most natural thing in the world. She apparently knew him as well, or at least he looked recognizable enough. Why did that thought make my blood boil? Thankfully, the rain was there to cool me off, as well as soak the ends of my outfit and make everything feel damp and uncomfortable. Yeah. I hate that. Was Ren really coming back? It shouldn't take this long to buy an umbrella. I'm gonna wait for him. I trust that he's gonna come back. I would really seriously hope that he comes back. Maybe something did come up. I'm sure he'll come back. And as if on cue, I spot a familiar patch of pink hair from within the misty rain, frantically sprinting with an umbrella in one hand and a bag under the other. Angel? Hooper? Ah. He almost slams into me before stopping just in time, and I could tell by the way he was wheezing that he ran all the way back here without stopping. Sorry, I thought I almost lost you for a sec. It's so hard to see in this weather. Jeez, Ren, what took you so long? I almost wanted to cuss him out for taking well over 20 minutes just to buy a single umbrella, but the genuine apologetic look in his features made me hold back my tongue. Sorry, do you remember your friends from earlier? I ran into them on the way there, which took forever for me to shake them off. then the convenience store ended up closing early due to the sudden weather change. Then I had to go to that awful souvenir shop with the obnoxious and clingy cashier again and ask me if he was talking a mile a minute, and I was worried he'd end up biting his tongue. Gently, I raise a hand to signal him to calm down as an intense monologue soon comes to a halt. I'm really sorry about making you wait so long, but ta-da, I did manage to get an umbrella, among with the other things as well. He gives me a small twirl. He gives it a small twirl in his hands, sending droplets of water all over the place. We can start heading back home now if you want, unless you want to go somewhere specific. You know, that's interesting how he just says, go back home, as if it's his home. I am curious about his apartment. Let's find out what happens if we ask to go to his apartment. My apartment, sure, it's not that far away. We could wait out the storm there if you'd like. I even have a heater and dryer we could use. The image of me sitting in front of a warm, cozy heater was too hard to resist, so I end up eagerly stepping under Ren's umbrella while he leads the way. Wow, we actually ended up going. I was worried it was gonna be one of those things where he's like, no, we can't go to my apartment. Or he doesn't have an apartment or something. I was wondering if that was what it was gonna be. But I guess we're going to his apartment now. Despite the heavy downpour of rain, we managed to make it to Ren's apartment complex in one piece. I guess he really wasn't lying when he said his apartment wasn't far from mine. But judging by the pristine interior and fully functioning elevators, his building seemed to be in far better shape compared to my apartment. The elevator ride could have been a little less awkward though if we weren't for the slow ascent and tacky music. Or for the fact that Ren deemed it appropriate to shake his hair like a wet dog and get water droplets everywhere. Once the elevator doors slid open, I was immediately met with a grandiose corridor and large spacious doors, and I found myself wondering how much it costs to live in a place like this. Don't look too hard at how messy my place is, okay? I wasn't expecting to have someone over today, so I didn't bother cleaning. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu. Haha, thankfully I don't have any white-haired neighbors who like to take their plants on walks. Actually, now that I think about it, it's a bit strange, but no one lives on this floor aside from me. I'm not really sure why, but I'm not gonna complain. That's interesting. Huh. I can make as much noise as I want, and no one would notice. Ren shoots me a mischievous grin, and I find myself wondering what he meant by that. Oh, Ren, okay. Like loud music and stuff? Movies? Yeah, something like that. He unlocks the door with some electronic card attached to his keychain, and the moment the door swings open, I let out an audible gasp. Ooh, this is a nice place. Ren doesn't seem fazed by the slightest as he flicks on the lights and walks into his own room, but I could only stand in the entrance to his foyer in shock. Yes, foyer. He had a whole damn foyer in his apartment. Was this even an apartment? Surely a penthouse would have made more sense. Holy shit, Ren. Is there something wrong? What is it? I know that the decor is kind of tacky, but it came with the apartment, and I hadn't found a way to do anything about it yet. I'm sorry, but are you the long-lost heir of a billionaire or something? This place is huge. And hello, is that marble? No, I get paid a lot for my job, enough to afford rent at least. You know, I don't think I've asked you this yet, but what exactly is your job? My job is, well, he's a hitman. I guess you could say I'm a programmer. I don't know. I just take on a few jobs every so often. Nothing super fancy or anything. Nothing super fancy. Ren, you have marble flooring. Leaving the newly discovered programmer at the entrance, I curiously venture further into his apartment. Marble is a pain in the ass to clean, too. Oh, Angel, do you want some slippers? The floors can get cold and your shoes are probably soaked, right? Turning around, I notice Ren opening a small closet and put out a pair of dark house slippers. He looks at me with a curious expression, but makes no effort to hand them over. Only if you want them. I'll take them, but only because they look like they're douchey. What? Ren lets out a puff of laughter through his nose at my joke, but it doesn't seem to deny it. Were these slippers really from a luxury brand? As I put them on, I noticed how they were an exact fit, and it makes me wonder if I just have average size feet, or if Ren had bought a bunch of expensive house slippers in various sizes. But as funny as that imagery was, how did he accurately guess my shoe size without seeing my feet? Here, why don't I show you the bathroom? I'll find you something to wear in the meantime while your clothes are in the dryer. Or would you prefer a towel instead? I guess that'd make more sense. You know, I'm not gonna complain about him having my exact shoe size. If he got that info by stalking me, as long as it's going towards my benefit, I'm all for it. Personally. Or would you prefer a towel instead? I guess that'd make more sense. Sorry, I don't usually invite people over. Seeing his timid side resurface once more gave me the sudden urge to tease him. So he's like, what? Am I saying I would just wear a towel? Or is that part of the teasing? Am I saying like I could just wear just a towel? Huh. Just a towel? Nothing else? Yeah, to keep you warm instead of taking a shower, unless you prefer a blanket, because I'm pretty sure I have an electric... Oh! It was as if all the gears inside his head were finally clicking together. No, I didn't mean... I meant a towel that you can wear over your clothes, and not just you in a towel. Unless you'd want to, but that's... Why would you? I'm just gonna shut up for now, sorry. That wasn't what I meant at all, but his reaction was priceless nonetheless. That actually was what I meant. Anyway, I'll show you to the bathroom. You can use whatever you want in there. Nothing is off limits. First, it was offering to... Wait, what? I'll show you to the bathroom. You can use whatever you want in there. Nothing is off limits. First, it was offering to spend the night at my place. Then it was asserting himself as my boyfriend in front of my friends. He really doesn't care about personal boundaries, huh? I was beginning to think that Ren didn't really seem to mind when it came to me invading his personal bubble as well. Though he still seemed pretty standoffish around Tio and Leon, and it took him a while to warm up to Eleanor back at the library. He even seemed indifferent when he first met Violet, but I figured it was only because she was shy. He was shy. Speaking of being shy, I still noticed how Ren didn't seem to be switching up his personality as much anymore, and I was beginning to think he was showing me his real side. Up until now, everything felt real and genuine, and I found that we could bounce back witty retorts between each other more easily. Though every now and again he might slip up and stutter, but I just assumed it was because my teasing made him flustered. Hey, I stutter every time I talk, so maybe the timid side of him was genuine after all? But I'll leave some clothes for you outside and put the plushie I bought for you in your room. He bought me a plushie? Is that what he got me at the store when he wants to get the umbrella? Huh. Oh, yeah, thanks. Great, I was zoning out again and completely missed half of what he was saying. Something about clothes and a plushie he bought? Was he talking about the Haruko plushie I was eyeing up earlier? Aw, that's sweet if that's what he did. I mean, he was carrying a gift bag from that souvenir shop earlier. Did he really buy me that toy? Ren, however, doesn't seem to pick up on my confusion, though, and invitingly opens the bathroom door for me with a soft smile. And so, without trying to make things awkward, I quickly slip inside and lean against the door for support. Which was fortunate for me because one sweep from the bathroom had me stumbling back in surprise. Whoa. Even his restroom looked expensive, and I was afraid of touching anything, fearing I'd accidentally break it and end up paying for it. Glancing around again, I noticed how my countertop seems to avoid any dental care, hairbrushes, and skin products, though a few bottles of concealer and an opened box of hair dyes sit in the corner near the sink. Well, I guess that answers my burning question on whether or not he naturally had pink hair. Well, yeah, makes sense. But now, it made me wonder, if Ren does dye his hair, then what was his natural hair color? There were still so many things I didn't know about that soft-looking guy, and I was beginning to question whether coming here was a good idea or not. With a sigh, I decided not to waste any more time thinking about irrelevant things, and instead turned my attention back to the shower. Quickly stripping out of my clothes, I jump into the unnecessarily large glass booth and turn the water on. Glancing at Ren's shelf of, albeit limited, hair and body products, I couldn't help but notice the one brand in particular happened to be the exact same as mine. Did we use the same body wash? He didn't really smell like me, but maybe that was because I wasn't paying much attention. I mean, who randomly smells people out of the blue anyway? Shaking my head at such a silly notion, I began to scrub away the lingering smell of rain from my body and quickly finished washing up. Bundled up in a warm towel, I crack open the large door and poke my head out of the hallway. True to his word, Ren left a small pile of clothing outside the bathroom, neatly stacked and propped against the side of the wall. Bringing the content back inside, I noticed the one piece of clothing in particular was a rather comfy-looking hoodie. Ooh, nice. But the design on the front, however, was rather morbid-looking and didn't really suit Ren's vibes. Maybe from a horror film or something? Huh? Wait. Was it Violet? Violet was saying someone had like a slasher hoodie on when that was the stalker from that she mentioned at the start of the game. Interesting. Shrugging my shoulders, I put the hoodie on and instantly get enveloped by the sheer amount of fabric. I mean, it made sense considering Ren's large and lanky frame, but it was just absurd. I had to stifle a laugh from the amusing sight in the fogged-up mirror, but I had to admit that the soft fabric felt nice and warm against my skin. Oh my god, it's making me want to just be comfy. I want to go take a shower and bundle up in clothes while it's raining outside and just sit by a fire and read some manga or something. I want that so bad. I wish it rained more often in general. I enjoy the rain. I want to live somewhere where it rains more. Even the scent that came from it felt oddly comforting somehow. Turning back to the remaining clothes in the pile, I gently pick up the next item and try to put it on. The gray sweatpants did seem to fit the length of my legs despite the number of times I tried to tug at the fabric, but luckily Ren was thoughtful enough to give me other alternatives. The dark pair of shorts seemed like the better option, especially since it came from a drawstring and deep pockets. Huh. Once I was fully dressed, I stepped out of the bathroom and aimlessly walk around until I hear the faint sound of a TV playing. Feeling curious, I followed the source of the sound down the hallway. A mysterious person? Aching news! A sudden storm hits the bay, as gale force winds and knock over street signs and even awnings. Gists believe that this sudden change in weather will die down soon, and to stay safe and I continue to follow the noise until it suddenly cuts out and changes into a glaring monotone sound, indicating that television must have lost all signal. And soon enough, I found myself in Ren's spacious lounge room. Aside from the TV, the rest of the lights were off, but I could still make out most of the dark shapes of the room with ease. It was just as ostentatious as the rest of his house, though I couldn't help but feel like it lacked any form of life. It just didn't seem like someone actually lived here. The furniture was gaudy yet tasteless. There was hardly any personal decoration or colors, and there was nothing that really screamed Ren to me. There was no personal touches, photos, items, hobbies, nothing. Just tacky furniture and the bland smell of something sterile. Well, you're judgmental, aren't you? Dude's just a clean guy. If I was being honest, it gave off the same vibe as a dentist clinic or a hospital. I mean, you did mention recently moving in, right? Maybe that's why. Oh! He changed outfits. He actually changed outfits. He's got, like, comfy clothes on now. Who moved in? Surprised by the sudden voice, I spin on my heel only to find Ren coming out from one of the hallways with a new set of comfy clothing. He seemed much more at ease like this, especially with a gentle expression on his face. I watch as he takes a respectful glance at my attire before sheepishly averting his attention to the ends of his sleeves. Sorry, that was the only pair of clothing I could find that might fit you. It looks really good on you, though. Oh, thanks. You can even keep them if you want. That was timing perfectly. The sound of thunder rumbling in the distance cuts off Ren's mumbling, and I involuntarily step closer to him. Without missing a beat, he reaches out and rests a protective hand on my shoulder to steady me. Oh, well, I did that I was scared. It scared me. Ren idly glances out of the window before turning his undivided attention back to me once more, only this time with a determined look. It's really pouring, huh? I could only nod at my head at his words, suddenly feeling sheepish all of a sudden. I really should have checked the weather forecast before I went out today, but to be fair, it didn't look as though I'd start spontaneously raining when I left my apartment this morning. And I guess I was enjoying my time with Ren to the point where I didn't even realize the weather was turning sour. Angel? Sorry, what did you say? I just asked if you wanted to stay the night here, you know, seeing how hard it's raining out there and your clothes haven't finished drying yet. It'd be no trouble, and I could return the favor considering how you let me stay at your apartment yesterday. Staying at his place for the night? Well, this certainly isn't how I expected to end my day. But would it really be that bad? It definitely beats waiting out the storm and walking home with a bunch of puddles everywhere. Huh? I don't have options? Why is this glitched out? What? I'm stuck. Is this like, is he just Monica from DDLC or what? Is that what he meant by he's a programmer? Is he programs my reality? Who am I kidding? I was gonna stay over anyways, but still. I guess I could stay if that's really okay with you. Yeah, of course, it's totally fine. Wow, he really was an energetic, eccentric man, wasn't he? Let me know if you need any more pillows or blankets. Or if the room gets too cold. I haven't worked out how to use the fancy heater system yet, but I can definitely try. Also, you already know where the bathroom is, but if you... Okay, I think I got it, Ren. I shoot him a reassuring smile as I turn to face him at the door. I should have gotten used to his attentive and observant behavior by now, but it's still like a foreign side of him that I hadn't really uncovered. Still, at least he wasn't stuttering as much anymore. I know, sorry. I just want you to be as comfortable as possible, so just treat this house like it's your own. Alright, gotcha. It looks like he doesn't want to leave, and instead lingers in front of the door a little while longer. Are you sure there isn't anything else you need? Anything at all? Can I get a goodnight kiss? Can I sleep in your bed instead? What's behind that locked door? No, I'm good, thank you. First of all, what locked door? And why? Okay. 3 of these options are would clearly lead to some crazy stuff. Like, first of all, like, the locked door, I would love to know. I'm sure he's just gonna say, don't worry about it, or get all mad or something, or all freaked out, and I'm not gonna find out what's behind the door. Plus, why would I ask that? That's rude. I'm staying at someone else's house. Why would I go to someone else's house and be like, hey, what's in that locked room you have over there? Like, why would I do that? These other 2 are interesting, though. Something tells me if I asked to stay in his bed, he wouldn't say no. Alright, let's just go with, can I get a goodnight kiss? Almost sheepishly, I dared to look up and gauge Ren's reaction at my words. He seems to be taking it as best he can, judging from how bright red his cheeks are and his cheeks and neck get, and the fact that he can't seem to look me in the eyes. Ren, don't get all shy on me now. Before I could finish my sentence, Ren was already leaning down and pressing his soft lips against mine. I barely noticed the way his hands gently hold my shoulder to keep me steady as his head tilts to the side. The kiss was brief and chaste, but it still made the both of us flustered. Is that okay? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay, good. I'm glad. Good night. Before I can even respond, he's already turning on his heels and speed walking towards his room. Shaking my head at his odd behavior, I close the door behind me and slowly make my way towards the bed. I noticed that the Haruko plushie Ren had bought earlier was sitting atop the sheets, and I gently bring it closer to my chest and give it a soft squeeze. So, he really did buy this for me after all. The faintest hint of cherry and mint emits from the toy and makes my mind drift to the thoughts of that strange pink-haired man once more. He was still as odd as usual, but some parts of him are starting to feel rather endearing. I noticed how he was no longer stuttering as much or acting as shy, and it made me wonder if we were getting closer. Now that I really thought about it, how did I feel about Ren? I'm crushing on him. I think I like him. I think he's alright. He's kind of creepy. Well, let's think of it, like, not even just from the player perspective, but even just as the character's perspective. You're jealous every time you talked to that girl. You invited him to stay in your bed. You talk about how pretty he is all the time. You kissed him twice now. You went on a date. I think it's safe to say you have a crush on him. I'm crushing on him. Okay, so maybe I did find him rather endearing and attractive. Ren was very considerate and attentive towards me during our date, and I could see myself wanting to go on another date in the near future. He certainly had boyfriend potential, but I still needed to work up the nerve to make it lead towards that direction. He seemed far too hesitant to do it himself, but it would have been nice to see him put more effort into it as well. Oh well, just knowing Ren wanted to spend the entire day with me is enough. Rolling onto my side, I hug the plushie closer so I can be surrounded by his comforting scent and slowly drift off to sleep. Alright. Well. That was day 2. I didn't even realize my camera had been up there for most of that. That's insane. Interesting. So we gotta go on a date with Ren. And now we are at his house. He woke up in my bed. He took me on a date. I came over to his house and kissed him goodnight. So I'd say that was pretty interesting. The only bad part, well, there's 2 bad parts. There was Tio. I hate that guy. And then there was the store girl. I can't remember her name. Olivia. Hate Olivia too. They both need to step back, okay? That's what I'll say. They both need to step back, and we'll all be fine. But yeah, so that was day 2. I might do like a video per day, because the days are between like an hour and a half, so that makes a good length video. So I think for now, I'm not sure if this game is demo still or not, or if this is a full release, but I'm wondering if there's 14 full days. So, or if they're released, or if they're out yet. But we'll find out as we go. Right now, we're gonna stop here. But next time will be day 3, and we'll see what happens when I wake up inside of Ren's house. So I will see y'all next time.